What is going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Good morning. Welcome to class session 8 of academicwave.com, where smart is the new cool, social studies, the fundamentals. Here we go. So we're going to get everybody in. You know how we all start this. Let me get a roll call for people who are coming in. If you could go to the chat, type in your name. If you want to type in your grade, if you want to type in your city, if you want to type in your favorite emoji, anything you would like us to know, go ahead and type that in. Look, it's Casual Thursday. I know usually that's, dedicated to Friday, but today is the last day of class for the week. We're going to move on to next week, which will be the last week, and we're going to talk more about that. So as you come in, go ahead and write your name, something about you in the chat, and we'll get this thing started. What's going on, Caleb? How you doing, big time? It's good seeing you, man. Glad you're here again today. We're about to get this thing started. What's going on, Big Tom Ronnie in the building? Okay, fam, I see you separated. But 8th grade in there, then we have Amber's. That's right. Buckets in the building. That's what we call the bucket. She plays basketball. It's in school. Here we go. Zoe, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? 6th grade in here. Right. There we go. Just a couple more seconds. Start this fucking bad. Here it is in front of a lot of fun today. That's what's up. Oh. All right. I like to say also hello. Thank you. But I think so beside you are still participating. Appreciate you. Appreciate that. All right. All right. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start from the top. Now, before we begin, I want to just let you know I appreciate it. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for participating. We're going into the last week of this thing, right? So what I would like for you to do for me is to go ahead and let's go ahead and get started. Now, first week, we did a review at the end of the week. And we're going to do the same thing today. We're going to do an end of the week review, but we're going to do it in a cool way. I hope you like this. So let's get ready to exercise our mind to get ready for the rest of the class. So here we go. Now, some of you probably already know this game, but we're going to play this game together. And you don't necessarily have to type it in the chat, but just think about it and say it out loud, and we'll play this thing together. All right, here we go. So To start off, we are going with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The academic wave style, all right? The academic wave style. So we're going to have a quick review of the things that we talked about, the things that we did this past week, and maybe sprinkle in some things we did in week one, just to review right quick. Now, we're not going to take long. Even though it's 15 questions, we're going to go from 100 to a million really quick, all right? So y'all rock with me. Here we go. First question. On Monday, this past Monday, what did we draw with our opposite hands? Was it a duck? Was it the ocean? Was it 10 hamburgers or a lizard? All right. Let's see what you come up with. You could just say it out loud. It was a duck. That's right. Let's see. That is our final answer. We got it correct. Okay. All right. We're ready for the next question. Oh. Uh-oh. Did this just log us out? Hold on, man. They can't do us like that. Things always go crazy here at Academic Wave. I don't know what just happened. We'll get back to that. I don't know what just happened, but we'll get back to that. But look, this is how things go. Teaching ain't easy, but it's necessary. So we're going to go right into the lesson for today. This is crazy, right? But it's probably for a good reason. It was probably going to take us over time anyway. Here we go. So social studies, the fundamentals. Here we go. All right. Holidays. Man, I wanted us to do the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We might do that at the end of the class, or either we might do that beginning on Monday. Anyway, holidays. Here we go. So holidays. First off, holidays. When you think of holidays, what holidays are celebrated at your school? Okay? What holidays are celebrated at your school? How are the holidays celebrated at your school? Is there a big parade? Do people dress up? Do people buy things? How are the holidays celebrated at your school? Then I want us to think about, what memories do you have of holidays? What memories do you have of holidays? And last but not least, think about this. Who decides which holidays are celebrated? Who decides these things? Do your parents decide? Do you decide? Do the teachers or the principal or even the administrators? Who decides within society which celebrations and holidays do we have? Think about it, all right? Next up, before we continue, I want us to let you know, see, because we're dealing with college here, you always have to check the syllabus. So I want to do a quick check on the syllabus to show you where we are and where we're headed. Today is holidays, so let's go straight to that. Bam! So before we move on, you can see that week one we've already covered. Each day, check, 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 right? Now we're on week two. Monday, identities in society. Tuesday, art and music. Yesterday, geography. Today, holidays, celebrations, and memorials. So we're right on pace right here. Next, we're going to go to week three, and we'll talk about that in just a second, all right? So we're right on pace. Let's get back to the lesson at hand. So I want you to think of what holiday this might be when you look at the picture. Now, I'm not going to reveal the name of the holiday. What I want you to do is think of what holiday it might be portraying. Okay, so let's check it out. Here we go. So when you see this picture, what holiday do you think this is? And this holiday is Yom Kippur. This is a holiday celebrated by those of the Jewish faith, right? Okay, next up, let's see. Next up, remember, we're reading the world one picture at a time. Here we go. Here's one for us. What do you think this picture, what holiday does this symbolize? I know, it might be a little hard, right? Might be a little hard. Here we go. This symbolizes, and I'm going to take my time with this one, Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead. This is celebrated by those of Latino and Mexican American or Mexican culture, where they celebrate, where they revere, where they honor those who have passed on, okay? So remember, we're learning about culture. We talked about culture last week, right? Meaning that it encompasses a lot of things that you do. So here we go. Let's continue on. I like this. Okay. Next up, let's see if you can get this one. Let's see if you can get this. Okay, I see some people came in with the right answer. Let's see if you can get this one. There we go. There we go. Let's see if you can type that up. What do you have for me? Put the context clues together. Let's see what we have. Drum roll, please. Here we go. And that is Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa. This is a holiday celebrated by African Americans here in the United States around the same time as Christmas. All right, just one more, just one more. Here we go. Here we go. We're doing good today. I like the answers. I like the answers. It's all good. We're learning together. Here we go. Just to give you a clue, this is a religious celebration, religious holiday. All right, here we go. Here we go. I know it might be a little bit difficult. Let's see. Ramadan. Ramadan, and this is celebrated by those of the Islamic faith, where they dedicate a whole month to fasting as well as other things for that month. All right. So we learned just very quickly, just through pictures, about different holidays, different celebrations, different observations that people do, not just here, but throughout the world. Remember, we're learning to read the world. So let's continue on. Here we go. One of the interesting things about holidays, and you might figure this out too. I'm sure y'all are all smart. I've been knowing y'all for 2 weeks. I know y'all smart, but check this out. This is something that people have figured out too. When it comes to holidays, a lot of times holidays equal money. Cha-ching, the dollar, right? So when you think of Christmas, when you think of Valentine's Day, even when you think of trick-or-treating, many times people who study society, who study people, who study populations, right? Who study culture, have understood that a lot of times holidays are connected with spending money. When you think of Christmas, you think of the gifts that you get, right? When you think of Happy Valentine's Day, you think of buying something for someone or receiving something from someone. When you think of Halloween, right? It's a time where you buy costumes and buy candy and go out and celebrate, right? But let's think of different ways that we can actually acknowledge what holidays mean. Now remember, we are learning to read the world. So we're going to look at things a little bit different. And part of holidays is understanding that it's a time not only to celebrate, but a time to learn. All right. And remember, self-education is the best education. So we're going to learn some things here together. Here we go. So it's interesting to see. We want to be critical thinkers. We want to read the world. And sometimes we also want to talk about counter narratives. So when we think about Cinco de Mayo, which is actually taking place next week, many people within the United States think of Cinco de Mayo as the Independence Day for Mexico, right? There's a lot of celebrations, a lot of partying. However, people don't understand that in a lot of ways it's celebrated more here in the United States than it is actually in Mexico. And that it is not the Independence Day. It does not symbolize that for Mexico. Matter of fact, it symbolizes the Battle of Puebla. And this is where Mexico fought the French around the same time as the Civil War. And it had some implications to the North and South fighting each other. So this is a way of understanding the world through holidays, right? Where we think we celebrate it this way and we think it's about this, but it's actually about something else. That's what we're talking about, being a counter narrative. What do we have up next? All right, here we go. Bam. Thanksgiving. Oh, I know some people might have got hungry. As soon as I said Thanksgiving, you might start thinking of turkey and pies and all type of stuff, right? So usually when we think of Thanksgiving, we think of celebrations. We think of people getting together. It actually is and can be considered a beautiful time. We think of back in the day, we were taught that the Pilgrims and Native Americans here actually met over food, and that's how they communicated and got together. However, because we're studying counter narratives as well, remember the other side of the story. Here, we also want to recognize that many people see Thanksgiving, because of their culture, they acknowledge it as a national day of mourning. And a national day of mourning is just simply saying that we recognize those who are not here. We mourn them not being here. They were taken away, and a lot of times very violently. So while we and other people might celebrate Thanksgiving this way, there are other cultures that say, no, there's another side to this story. There's another side to this story, and we like to recognize that day not as a day of celebration, but as a day of mourning. Now, really quickly, let's go to the next one. Bam, Columbus Day. Now, what are we told about Columbus Day? What are we told about Christopher Columbus? What are we told about Christopher Columbus? That he what? That he sailed the seas and came to America. However, because we're studying counter narratives, we also want to recognize not only did he not ever step one foot on American soil, he never stepped one foot here in the United States, but also his treatment of the people within the Caribbean, the people of Haiti, the people of Puerto Rico, the Taino people at the time. They did not welcome him with open arms. Matter of fact, there was a lot of fighting. There was what is called genocide. So while some people might celebrate, other people might not celebrate because of the mistreatment that he did. Okay? So this is just simply a way that holidays have the ability not just to be celebrated, which they can, but also we can learn from them. Okay? Now check this out. Here we go. We're getting into some good stuff because a lot of people don't even learn this stuff. You would be impressed. A lot of people don't even learn this stuff or know this stuff until they go to college. So let's look not only at this, but also how this can be, bam, how there are multiple days that can be celebrated. And one of the things that we're seeing now is that there are like celebration and holidays for almost everything. There's a National Dog Day. There's a Cat Day. There's a Siblings Day, right? There's all of these celebrations. And we're going to get to how well, I'm not going to even say it yet. I'm going to just wait. Check this out. Let's look. So if we look at even the calendar, a daily calendar of holidays by the month. And here we have the calendar. Let's take a look at this month. So what were some of the things that were honored and celebrated this month and acknowledged? Well, one was National Humor. It was National Humor Month and the National Guitar Month. That's what I'm saying. You could have a celebration for anything, for absolutely anything. Here you have Lawn and Garden Month, Pecan Month, so forth and so on. Even weeks. So the first week of April was Library Week. The second week was Garden Week. Even week 4, Administrative Assistance Week. I remember I celebrated that with some people that I work with, right? So we acknowledge those who work within the administration. So let's go back. Let's check this out. Go back here. And let's look at May. Now look at some of the things that are celebrated during May. A lot of people don't even know that, yes, February is Black History Month. However, here you have the month of May being Asian American Month, right? Foster Care Month is another way that this month is being acknowledged. National Barbecue, National Bike Month, all of these, right? But this is what I want to bring specific attention to. Look right there. Nurses Week, the first full week of the month. And we all know that at this time, nurses in many ways are being heroes. They're on the front lines in hospitals trying to take care of people the best way that they know how during the events surrounding COVID-19. And it just so happens that the first week of May is Nurses Week. Now, I thought was something that was really interesting that happened yesterday was that one of our amazing students in the class actually talked about going on the field trip. Remember, we used Google Earth and we took a couple of field trips, and the first suggestion was that we see Christ the Redeemer statue in Brazil. So I want to show you something really quick about Christ the Redeemer statue in Brazil that was absolutely incredible, and show you how we're reading the world, not just the word. Okay? So bam. So here we go. You remember yesterday we took a field trip there. Now, in honor of the nurses that are on the front line, last week they actually superimposed, or they used lights to put a doctor's gown, a medical gown on the statue itself. So that's how we are here at Academic Wave. We are learning to read the world. A lot of people might not even know that next week is Nurses Week, but we do, right? So we don't want to take them for granted, or anyone for granted who's out doing what's right during this time. So bam, there you go. Now, here's another thing that I want us to think about. I want you to think about what you could actually do as your own celebration. Since everybody else has a celebration, we have barbecue celebration, bike celebration, all of this avocado celebration, right? So let me think. Where could we go to actually start something that might be considered our own celebration? Here we go. Let's take a look here. So, what I would like to bring up is this concept and it's a website called Big Huge Labs. Big Huge Labs. And here at Big Huge Labs, what you're going to do is you can go here. After class, this is what I would like for you to do. I would like for you to go here. And the Big Huge Labs, the thing about it is actually pretty cool because you can do so much stuff on this website. So with Big Huge Labs, you see here, there's what's called a motivator. You can make a movie poster, a jigsaw puzzle, a badge, wallpaper, a CD cover for all my artists out there, right? A calendar, a map maker. If you want to make that community resource map, you can use that as well. Even a magazine cover. But very quickly, I want to show you how you can use it to start or even think about your own celebration. Here we go. So I'm simply going to go right to the first one, motivator. Got a couple of minutes left and then we are out of here. You can go to motivator. What I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a file. Now I've already downloaded a file and I downloaded an ear, right? I downloaded an ear. So I put the ear here, and in the title, what I'm going to put is what I think should be a holiday is Listening Day. Listening Day. Because I think it's important that we listen to each other more than we normally do. So I'm going to put Listening Day as my holiday, as the title of my holiday. That's where you can do it. And the reason why you put in this box. So my reason is because we should listen to each other. Let me go back. More with an exclamation mark. Now once you have your picture, you put your picture in there. You put the title of your holiday or celebration there that you create. You put your reason right here. Then you go to the bottom and hit create. Here we see, bam, right there. A nice picture of your specific celebration that you would like to have. And you can also download it right here. So you can put it right there. And that is a way that you can start to create or even think of what celebration you would like to have. Not necessarily just celebrating everything that everybody else wants to celebrate, but what's something that you would like to celebrate? Now, how does that connect to what we're doing next week? Real quick, here we go. We got a couple of minutes left before we are out of here today. Couple of minutes left before we are out of here today. Bam. So when you think of learning from holidays, not just celebrating holidays, but learning from them, you can present new narratives, right? Counter narratives. You can talk about new things. You can share untold stories. You can discover unsung people. It allows for critical thinking. Remember, thinking of things in ways that are normally not thought about. And also it creates opportunities to participate. So this is a way that we actually can start to think about holidays, celebrations, and memorials. One where we don't just celebrate, but we actually learn. Now, the great thing about this is going into next week, I'm going to take a back seat. And guess what? You will in turn become the teachers, right? You will create your own project in order to become the teacher. And that you'll show that at the end of next week on Thursday. Next week, you'll do that. Matter of fact, I'll show you right quick before we head out of here today. Like we talked about. So next Monday, we will go over, and it's called Historical Thinking Journey Box, where you basically will take us on a journey. And through this journey that you're taking us on, we get to learn about something we normally wouldn't learn about, but because of you, you're able to teach us, all right? So here we go. Bam. Next Monday, we're going to choose a topic and select sources. Remember we talked about sources last week. something you can get information from, someone or something you can get information from. So Monday we're going to choose, or you will choose, a topic and sources. Then Tuesday we're going to work on the questions. What questions will you develop for us? Wednesday, you're going to make connections from the past to what's going on now. And then this time next week, you will be presenting your actual historical thinking journey boxes yourself. So, and look here, that's my bad. I guess I have to look up what happened with our Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but we'll jump that off on Monday. Matter of fact, that'll be the first thing we jump off on Monday. That is it. We are on it. What is it? About 10:30? Okay. We are there. This is the end of the class. Matter of fact, this is the end of the week. End of the second week of 3 weeks. We have one more week left. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for joining. Once again, academicwave.com, or I should say, social studies, the fundamentals, right here at Academic Wave, where smart is new cool. If you don't mind, would you go ahead and put something in the chat before you leave? Thank you again for checking out with us. Thank you for hanging out with us. Zoe, thank you. Amaris, thank you, Superstar. Ronnie, thank you, Big Timer. Who else we had? Caleb, thank you, my man. Hey, yesterday, that was my bad, Caleb. I know you wanted me to go to Ireland. I thought it was something called Caleb Island. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Thank you for, Ronnie, thank you for showing up, my man. I will, look here. And just to let y'all know, let you in on a secret, I have something special for y'all at the end of next week. Parents, guardians, anybody that's working with you, I definitely need to contact you to make sure that the students who have been participating get a couple of things that's very special, because we just don't want to take that for granted. They have inspired me in ways that they probably don't even know. But together, we're going to make this thing happen. So go ahead and drop something in the chat. I will see you next week. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good one. Keep being superstars. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you next week. First things first, we're going to do that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire review. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Bam, all the way back up.